I have another meal prep for you. Hi friends, thank you so much for joining me. This week I am going to meal prep a few different recipes for you. For breakfast, I'm going to meal prep a breakfast bubble up. For lunch, it's going to be a Panda Express chow mein copycat recipe from lightcravings.com, and I'll link the original recipe down below. For snacks, I'm just going to do some crackers with some Laughing Cow cheese. And for dessert, I'm going to do a strawberry cheesecake in a jar. Well, let's get started. To start the breakfast bubble up, I'm going to take some of this lean turkey sausage and go ahead and brown that up in a pan. And then in the meantime, I'm also going to start with my 2-ingredient dough. So I'm just going to take a half a cup of self-rising flour. So I'm going to take just a little bit off the top to flour my board. And then dump the rest in. Next up is a half a cup of this non-fat plain Greek yogurt. And to that mixture, I'm just going to add a little bit of garlic powder. And stir that up. Okay, so I'm just going to spread my flour out. Once that's all incorporated, dump it out, and we're going to knead it. Once that's nice and smooth, then we're going to make this into just little bites, so that's the bubble up piece of it. You can also do this, a lot of people do this with like buttermilk biscuits and things that you can buy at the store. Completely fine, you can do that too. Whatever's the easiest. I just like the 2-ingredient dough because I like that it's nice and low-cal and it's dieter friendly. So I also have my oven preheating to 350. So I'm just going to turn these into like little snakes and then chop them up and get them into this pan. So on top of that, I'm going to put my ground, this is that ground turkey sausage I showed you. Okay, on top of that, we are going to use a full dozen of eggs. I'm going to use 8 of them as whole eggs and 4 of them just the egg whites. So whenever I'm doing that, I like to start with the egg whites because if I mess up and I get a yolk in there, it's not a big deal. But if I did the yolks first, if I did the whole eggs first, and then I'm trying to just do egg whites and I break a yolk, then I used more than I meant to. So I always start with the egg whites. Okay, to that I'm going to add just a little bit of garlic pepper and garlic salt. You can use whatever you like. You also, at this stage, there's a couple things that you can do. You can add peppers to this if you like things spicy. I do not, so I'm not doing that. You can also add some hash browns to this, just the frozen hash browns, the ones I like to make hash waffles with. You can put some of those in the top, or even some O'Brien hash browns would be delicious in this. So you can really, do this a million different ways and, add whatever it is that you like. I'm going to pop this into my 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes. I'm then going to take it out and I'm going to add half a cup of this reduced fat Fiesta blend cheese and pop it back in for another 15 minutes. And then it should be done. Okay, so we're going to put that half a cup of this Fiesta blend cheese on the top. That's going back in the oven for another 15 minutes to finish up. Set a timer for 15 minutes.
Second timer, 15 minutes, starting now.
Okay, so let's get going on that chow mein. First, I'm going to be using 8 ounces of these chow mein noodles. I'm going to get those boiled up. And then we're going to need an onion. I am not big on onions, so this one's kind of smallish, and that's all I'm going to use. If you really like onion flavor, you can, of course, put more in. And then we're going to need 3 celery stalks. Let me get those chopped up, and then we're going to get those sauteing just to soften. You can see my veggies in there. I'm going to go ahead and get those started to saute for about 5 to 10 minutes. I just like them to get translucent and really soft. And then I'm going to add in this 10-ounce bag of this angel hair coleslaw and saute it all together for about 5 minutes. That breakfast bubble up is out of the oven, so I'm gonna let that cool slightly and go ahead and make my sauce for the chow mein. We need 1/3 cup of less sodium soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of brown sugar. I'm using this Splenda brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. The recipe calls for 3 garlic cloves, but I have this minced garlic, so I'm just gonna add some of that. The recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of grated ginger, so I'm gonna use this ginger paste. And I'm just gonna stir this all together. Okay, I have all of my softened veggies here, and it's piping hot, you can see. I did add just a little touch of water. The recipe didn't call for it. It said just to saute them and let it wilt down. But it was starting to burn on the bottom without wilting. So I did add a little bit of water when I added that cabbage in, just to help it kind of, you know, actually steam and not burn. These are those 8 ounces of cooked noodles. And then to this, I'm just gonna add that sauce I just made. Okay, and I'm gonna set that aside and let those flavors kind of meld together. The other thing I'm gonna do for my meal preps is I'm actually going to put some chopped chicken into each of them. And I have some chicken that I've already barbecued. So you could either roast up some chicken breast, or if you have leftovers, it's a great use for them. Get my cutting board back over here and get these chopped. For dessert, I probably should have started this a little bit earlier, but that's okay. I'm gonna make up some of this sugar-free strawberry jello. I'm making just half of this box. So in this cup, I have a half a cup of boiling hot water and 4 ounces of this box, which is half. To this, I'm gonna add a half a cup of, I'm actually gonna do ice cubes in water, just to sort of speed up the process of it setting up. Okay, so I'm gonna add in my half a cup of ice water, and then stir till dissolved. And then I'm going to put those in the bottom of these 4 dessert dishes and get them in the fridge so that they can start to get set up. All right, these are ready to get into the fridge. While those are setting up, I'm going to take some of this sugar-free Jell-O cheesecake pudding mix and some of this non-fat Greek yogurt, and this is plain. So I'm going to take, I have my food scale here, I'm just going to weigh this out. I'm going to take 2 cups of this, so we have 16 ounces there. I'm going to go ahead and hit tare to make it go back to 0, and I'm going to go up to grams. And we're going to do 20 grams of this cheesecake pudding mix. Okay, and then we're going to mix them together. Okay, and this will continue to thicken as pudding does. So if it gets a little too thick, you can always add just a splash of almond milk or whatever your favorite milk is to thin it out just a little bit. But that is ready to go. Last up, I'm just gonna chop up some strawberries, and that's gonna go right on top of the dessert. I am ready to start filling my lunch containers. I'm gonna start off with this Normandy blend. I'm gonna go ahead and season each of those with some garlic salt. This chow mein looks delicious. So there's gonna be 6 servings here, so I'm just gonna do the best I can to evenly distribute these. Okay, those are pretty even. To the top of that, I'm just gonna add some of my chopped chicken. And again, I could weigh this, but I'm just gonna eyeball it. Okay, and lastly, I'm gonna add just a tablespoon of this teriyaki sauce to the top of each, just to help it from getting a little bit dried out. Okay, and my 6 meal preps are done for lunches. And then for breakfast, I also cut this breakfast bubble up into 6 pieces. So I am all set for breakfast and lunch for the week. For my snacks this week, I'm going to be having 1 wedge of the Laughing Cow cheese. I have both the garlic and herb and the spicy pepper jack. This one is pretty spicy, so if you don't like spice, you won't like this. But I actually do like it with the Crunchmaster crackers, which I'll show you in a minute. So that's the cheese I'll be having. This box is running low, so for as many bags as I can make, it might only be 1. I'm going to do these sea salt good thins. These are really good. For 30 grams, you get 30 grams for 120 calories. And then I have this Costco box of these Crunchmaster multigrain crackers. They're 6 seed crackers, and these are the ones that I like with that spicy pepper jack. For this one, you get 30 grams is 140 calories. So I'll actually probably do a little bit under just to sort of try and keep, you know, just to keep the calories the same. That way I don't have to redo the math anytime I grab one versus the other. So, so let's get those ready. And that will be my snacks for the week. I just did 6 of them, so everything is 6, so it's nice and consistent. So I wound up with 2 of the Good Thins and then 4 of the Crunch Masters. So I'm gonna get all of this put away and then we'll finish up that dessert. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off these desserts. So I'm just gonna add my, and you can see how thick that pudding gets. It gets very, very thick. So again, you can always add something to it if you don't like that. It doesn't bother me. I'm gonna add this to the top of each of these. Okay, so that's evenly topped on those 4. And then on top of that, I'm gonna add just some fresh strawberries. And that is our yummy dessert. Another thing you can do with these too, if you wanted to put blueberries on the top, then it makes a nice 4th of July dessert too, because you would have the red, white, and blue. And that's all I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed and got some good ideas. If you did like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and click the bell for notifications. I wish you the best of luck this week. Thank you again for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye. And these are ready to get in the oven. No, they shouldn't go in the oven. That would be very bad. These are ready to get into the nope. Nope, not the microwave either. Fridge. Say fridge. Say fridge. Okay, it doesn't always go smoothly, all right?
I'm going to double boil these today. Inferno.
Okay, I am ready to start filming. Filming? Well, I already am filming.